Aloha and welcome to Spirit Chat Radio. Today I'm going to be doing a kind of like a mini podcast, short podcast, so it's probably not going to be as long as the other ones. But I wanted to do this one on the July full moon and the lunar eclipse energy because there's a lot going on with this. And I thought about just doing a regular post, but there's so much going on with this particular double whammy lunar phase happening right now that I wanted to elaborate a little bit more. And I do get messages a lot on, how much that you guys find these helpful. So if you find them helpful, definitely comment below because I enjoy knowing that these are helpful for you guys. And I like to hear your comments or what you guys are experiencing with this lunar cycle and this lunar phase. So definitely comment either on my pages or YouTube channel or wherever you may be. So anyways, this one is a little bit different than some of the other full moons that we've been experiencing. And what's happening leading up to this is, well, I guess it's kind of a triple whammy, right? Because we are in Mercury Retrograde. It's the full moon for July, and we have a lunar eclipse all happening today. So, wow, this is like kind of exciting, but a little bit freaky at the same time. Anyways, so leading up to this full moon and lunar eclipse, a lot of people were experiencing I would say in the last week or so, being extremely fatigued. It might be a week and a half. Leading up to this, just being extremely fatigued and feeling like it's just really hard to get motivated and really hard to get things done and feeling emotionally lethargic as if, you're kind of, have you ever had those dreams where you're moving really slow? Kind of like that, where you're moving really slow. And that is not uncommon for a Mercury retrograde cycle and where we were at, because what happens during a retrograde is the planet actually, after it's gone forward, it's actually moving backwards. So it can make it feel like emotionally or physically everything's kind of in slow motion, that you're not moving, like I said, energetically forward, because people don't realize that when they have the drive to do things, there's usually an energetic push behind it, right? You're feeling the urge to do this, or to move forward or to be productive, or you're feeling the urge to just lay down on the couch and watch, 10 hours of Netflix. So that urge that people talk about is your energetic push or your energetic pullback. So if you're feeling like that you should rest, the energy is kind of pulling you back and trying to get you to slow down. It's imagine it kind of like having maybe like a string or something attached to you, or like something that pushes you forward or pulls you backwards, or maybe a hand. Maybe somebody's got you, by the shirt with their hand, and they're kind of helping you move forward by slowly going, you can do it, move forward, like I'm right behind you, we got this. Or sometimes they're pulling your shirt backwards and going, hold on a minute, like you're not ready for this, just calm down, just sit down and relax a second. That's kind of what the energy does. That's how it essentially works with us, especially when you're talking about planetary energy and universal energy. So the last week, I'm trying to figure out, probably about 10 days or so, we had, that the lunar energy arm was grabbing a hold of us and being like, slow down a minute, take a break, you're going to get this done, mentally prepare yourself, but just chill for a half a second. Well, now it's awake time. It's time for you to get things going. Let's chop, let's go now. That's kind of what's happening with this cycle. So my favorite things that happen during full moon, and I'm halfway joking, but I'm not in a little bit of a sense, is of course insomnia. So I was personally, with what's been happening with lunar cycles, is I was sleeping ridiculous amounts of hours. Like, I don't get a lot of sleep, and I have my sleep app, and I'm like, this is insane. I'm wanting to sleep like 10 hours, and I'm actually getting some good sleep, which is even more bizarre, because even if I sleep 10 hours, I don't have I don't go into like a deep sleep. So that was crazy. And now I'm back to my, 5 hours, sometimes 4 to 6 hours sleep pattern. So I don't even have to look at a lunar calendar. I can feel that when that starts to shift, that we're nearing full moon. And then the other thing that typically happens, especially for those of us who are sensitive, who are really sensitive, anxiety levels around a full moon can tend to be higher than normal. And so that's sort of what's going on as well. Not in a super intense way that you're going to just have necessarily anxiety meltdowns, but they're definitely heightened. However, with the lunar eclipse, we got some other stuff going on that could make you be having some major anxiety right now. So I'm going to get into that in just a second here. So we got the insomnia and the short sleep and that sort of thing. And then we got the higher anxiety levels. And now we're moving into a very productive phase. So you're most likely going to feel the urge to really get things done. And this is the month, or starting from this point, things that you've been looking at or have been contemplating, or projects that you've been trying to kind of get wrapped up and handled, those you'll all of a sudden find it very easy to wrap up, and just everything's going to start falling into place. And so where before you were feeling like, gosh, I'm doing all this work and I'm not seeing any formation of my goal here. And right from this point on, you're going to start seeing things really forming together and taking shape. You're going to be able to go, oh, well, I've been working on this mentally or physically, for a while, but now I'm starting to see a result. Now I'm starting to see how this is forming and coming together. So that's going to be some really cool stuff that's going on as this new or full moon phase kind of is here and then keeps going. You're going to be able to start seeing results of things that, like I said, you either mentally did or you have been working on for a while. You're going to start seeing some cool progress, I would say. Now, with the lunar eclipse, we kind of have a kicker. And yes, we have the Mercury Retrograde. That energy is kind of lying a little bit low right now, but especially with this lunar eclipse, because it tends to almost be more intense. But the lunar eclipse is a kicker. And the interesting thing that's happening with this that I don't see very often, that was sort of kind of like, I don't want to say shocking for me, but I was like, wow, this is interesting, is it's activating the heart chakra. And it's activating the heart chakra on a very intense level. And I mean intense. So you might be experiencing this is really a lot of the reason that I wanted to do this as a podcast instead of just doing it as a Facebook post or whatever. Because this is where things get kind of interesting. So now when your heart chakra gets activated on its own, that's or not on its own, but you're consciously trying to activate your heart chakra and you're doing it on a soul level, that's one thing. But when it starts being activated on a planetary level, that's a whole new level of intensity. And so here's some things that you might be experiencing. There are going to be a lot of things going on in the chest area that are normally not so intense. So emotionally, well, I'm going to break this down a little bit on emotionally and kind of physically what might be going on. So emotionally, what's happening with this kicker energy is people you might notice, or yourself, might be feeling very emotionally sensitive. And I mean, like, really, like, anything can set you off. So just you're sensitive to stuff. You're sensitive to something somebody says. You're sensitive to, things on TV, or being worried about something. It's interesting because one of my grandbabies, who is a moon child, of course, never, ever, ever gets upset about anything, hardly. But I'll tell you what, it is the last 2 days, any little thing starts with a big frown, and just you can tell he's just really trying to hold it together, and he just bursts into tears. Like, he just uncontrollably cannot handle whatever is happening emotionally. He's just super sensitive. And I mean, it is the most silliest things that are setting him off. So it's interesting how much kids, especially moon children, they're very textbook when it comes to things that are happening with these moon phases and these lunar phases. So if you're feeling very upset emotionally and feel like you're not handling things normally, or things that you kind of put on the back burner all of a sudden, just little things. And it's not usually that you're drumming up too much old stuff, but just things that are currently sort of going on that shouldn't really be upsetting. So that ties into, obviously, being easily upset. Being easily just easily upset, like something normally doesn't make you upset, and you handle things more normal, and things like just all of a sudden upset you, which also ties into feeling like crying. So I've seen a lot of meltdowns and a lot of crying going on. Or you may find that you have the urge to cry out of nowhere, or kind of cry about something you normally wouldn't cry about, and think like, this feels really like weird, but I really feel like this is upsetting me on a level that I want to cry about it, but it's not my normal behavior. So that's something that's kind of interesting that's going on. Now, what's physically going on is just as intense for this heart chakra being activated right now, or the heart. And the interesting thing on this is, when I say your heart chakra is being activated, you will feel this, up high from the throat, to the shoulders, to even a little bit into the solar plexus chakra. So just imagine, instead of trying to concentrate on chakras, just chest area, chest center. So the other thing that I'm noticing that's happening with this is hormones might be feeling a bit off. So especially, men and women might be noticing this, but things just aren't feeling quite right. Hormones are not feeling quite right. So anybody who has like regular hormone issues, just the regular stuff we talk about, estrogen, testosterone, or whatever, or thyroid issues, you might be feeling a little bit more off than normal. So that's something to keep in mind with this. The other thing that's happening is things are feeling a bit heavier or tighter than normal in the chest area energetically. For those who are really sensitive, they might notice that they feel like maybe they might be, you're probably gonna notice it in regards to some physical stuff that you may have. Like, so for instance, if you experience heart palpitations, or maybe asthma type stuff, you may for a half a second feel like, is something going on with, the lungs, heart area? So if you're prone to having stuff like that happen, of course, if you feel like anything's off on any of this stuff physically, absolutely go get checked out by a doctor. Don't be like, oh, it's the moon, because that's just silly. But you definitely want to get checked out from your physician if you're feeling anything's physically doesn't feel well to you. That's the first and foremost thing to do. What I'm talking about is things that are not emergency type situations. I'm talking about, your body well enough, you've been checked out, and you're noticing that things just feel tighter in that area or a little bit heavier in that area and physically. And that might be a little bit like, this is kind of weird. And it makes you more aware of maybe, other physical things that you may have, and not in a way that concerns you, but in a way that makes you more aware. So there's might be physical triggers in that area as far as lungs, heart, that sort of thing. Again, do not just assume it's lunar things and don't go to the doctor. I just want to, reiterate that if it's something that you feel like you need to see somebody, go see somebody. But if you have a clean bill of health, or if you go and have one, this is an area that's being very heavily activated right now by the lunar stuff. And then the other thing that people might be noticing again, which ties into a little bit of the full moon stuff, but adrenal stuff, adrenaline, you might notice is so for instance, I can feel, it's really weird, but I guess I'm not normal, but when lunar things change and they get really intense, it almost feels like my adrenal glands my adrenaline won't go on its own. It's not like it's triggered. I will wake up and I can actually feel it running through my body, but I can also feel hormones changing, which is not a normal thing. So, adrenal glands, adrenaline, you might notice is a little bit higher than normal. And then also the anxiety because of all of these physical factors of hormones feeling off and the chest area feeling a little bit heavier or tighter than normal, which definitely will alarm somebody who has anxiety because this will all compile it into the perfect storm. Then that's going to make the anxiety definitely higher than normal for a lot of people. Now, enough about talking about all of those fun things, although, gratefully, when I do these, and the only reason I'm doing this, because I want to be like, sometimes in my head, I'm like, why am I telling people all of these bad things? These podcasts are not to really say, oh yeah, now here's all these things that you're going to be experiencing on a lunar level, so good luck. It's not like that. It's like I tend to notice that if people understand what's happening, they calm down a bit and then they don't get in their head so much. And then they're like, oh, okay, I'm relieved. So I want to do these energy reports so that you guys are understanding energetically what's going on so that you're not tying different stressors in your life or different events or worried that it's a precognition to something bad that's going to happen with work or that deal or whatever it may be. But if you're understanding, if you're really sensitive and you're more aware and understanding of what's happening on the energetic level, it can help calm a lot of things, and then you can go about your day in a more productive manner, I would say, because then you're not worried or concerned that there's, 18 million different things happening that you should be paying attention to. You know that it's going to come and it's going to go. It's going to come and then we're going to phase out. But as always with this, there is going to be some cool things that's happening. And that's going to be the one thing where I said you're going to be really seeing some seeing the fruits of your labor, I would say. You're going to be seeing things take shape that you've been working on, or you may even just start having a very creative flow. So a lot of what felt like energetic blocks, sort of, or what felt like trudging through energetic mud, that's going to, like, you're coming out of the mud and you're going to really be seeing some cool things happening. The other thing is you are most likely going to be feeling really productive. So I don't want to tell you not to waste that time, because I really feel like with this combination of the lunar energy, I'm not even going to have to tell you that, because you're just going to feel urged with the lunar arm. It's going to be going, all right, let's do this. And then the interesting thing about the low sleep right now is you're also not going to feel as tired. So with the low sleep, you're not going to feel as tired. You're going to feel more wired and ready to do things and get things done. So this is a really good, let's do this type of time. Like, let's get things motivating and going. So anyways, I hope that you found this helpful. This will be lasting probably another 7 to 10 days. The productive stuff will be really moving into August energy. So it's really aligning with really completing things and actually having a lot of things sort of come to fruition into August that you most likely have been working on now. So you have that to look forward to as well. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this short podcast. I know this isn't as long as normal. I am still working on the empath school, and wow, that is turning out even more amazing than I ever thought possible. For you empaths out there, I am so stoked to bring you this first class. So don't forget, if you're interested, to join the waitlist of that little link that I'm putting below. The empath school, I haven't talked about that too much, but that's not just going to be one class. I'm working on the first class that's being offered. There's going to be other classes really specialized towards empaths in that. But first things first, got to focus on what I'm doing. And I'm hoping to have that done by August, which aligns with all this energy. So it's amazing, though. If you struggle as an empath, or you're not, if you're not really aware or not really understanding your empath abilities, or you're not feeling well as an empath, this is going to be gold for you. Like, I'm so stoked. So as always, subscribe if you enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Comment below also whether you're in my Facebook group or whether it's on YouTube, because I've been watching for the first 24 hours or so on YouTube to make sure that I try to answer questions. So comment below, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want to get in on my spirit community that's free, definitely stop on over to keystospiritworld.com. There's a spirit community button halfway down the page, which I really cannot stand that website anymore, just so that you know. I feel like it's too cluttered, and I will be working on doing a new website, or I am working on. Well, I got a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, but it still has the basic information that you guys need, which is, asked to be in the spirit community, and then you can get accepted in there. Anyways, I do have empath Q&A part 2 coming up shortly, but I wanted to squeeze this one in. So until next time, have the most amazing day. Aloha.